this is hard. That's great. Well, that's great. Such a pain.
Just a sense of poise.
Whatever, go away.
Trying to get in the fit.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
Better too tight than too loose.
True, my hands are sweaty. This print is not working at all.
Why?
It keeps messing up. So I keep having to cancel it and it's not working.
Maybe you need to do a reset of the machine.
It's not the problem, it's the bed. At first I made it too high, now it's too low. I'd hope if the whole bed itself was even. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Stab myself. Oh, goodness. Oh, this is just, I need a break. Alright, so I have finally finished cleaning the Octopus and worked out all the problems I had. My printer, the filament was not sticking to the bed of the printer, so I went to the Facebook group for the Monoprice printer that I have, got some help, which I will talk about in a review video a bit later, but basically finally got the head to work and it came out nice. I tried to record myself cleaning it up, but it was just kind of too awkward of an angle for me to clean at, so there's about 30 minutes of footage there, unsped up of course. And then I was like, I need to actually try to figure this out. And I actually ended up, cleaned the in bits here and inside here. And there was this big block that I'm sure you all saw. I was like, I got this one little part, like these two little parts. And I was thinking, it'd be really easy to get some pliers and just pull them apart. So I asked my dad, who has all the tools in the world, including, this right here, the little knife I've been using to clean the parts, actually came from him. So of course my dad, being the person of all tools, said, oh, here, you can just use these. And this was from some other equipment, and I think, yeah. So what I did was I had grabbed the parts and just basically pulled and twisted them. Sometimes I twisted them around and pulled them off. And I basically just kind of plucked the big parts. And then of course I went in there and refined it with the knife, and now it's pretty smooth. Yes, you can tell, you can clearly see it's there. You can run your hand over it. It's not sharp, thankfully. You can run your hand over it and you know that something was here. I probably could sand it, but I'm okay if it's not perfect. But look at that. And all these little limbs. Yep, so there's a total of 8 here, and I decided to color coordinate them. I decided to switch them between green and white, so technically when the head's attached it'll be green, white, and go all the way. So yeah, and of course before I had problems with the printer, which is not due to the printer, by the way. Like I said, there'll be I'll explain that in the review video, but I had just barely got to work for the end tips here. So the end tips on the bottom you won't be able to see because this camera doesn't autofocus, but it's not perfect on the bottom, but like I said, I don't really care for that. I know my first couple of prints aren't gonna be perfect, but yeah, and I don't really care if they're not perfect. It looks good. It doesn't look like it's chopped off or anything. It looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble this. I decided to just talk through this instead of speeding it up. Also, word to the wise. So this model was from Thingiverse, and the link will be in the description below where you can download it, and credit to the artist. I would pull it up, but I don't want to prolong the video. It's like 10 o'clock right now as I'm recording this. So I'll put it up on screen, the artist's name who made this. But yeah, so the limbs are actually very hard to snap together. I didn't make them smaller or anything. I wanted them to be all the same size. I read the comments, and I saw where people said it would be tough, and I was like, well, I'd rather be too tight than too loose. Because if it was too loose, it could come apart, or it wouldn't really hold shape. Like, see how it's holding a shape? If it's too loose, it wouldn't really do that. So it did hurt because I'm pushing against here and I'm holding it here, so I'm basically holding it like this and pushing, and I don't think you can really tell on this camera, but it's a little sore here and sore here, and of course that's where I was holding the little knife. But I mean, it was definitely worth it. It did take me a couple of days to assemble them at a time because it just hurt a little too much because they are rough, but I got those done. And now we're going to assemble it. Of course, the end bits were easier to assemble because it's not sharp. They're what do you call it? Like thinner. So when I'm pushing against like a small, smooth thing instead of a rough thing here. I hope that makes sense. And I do really recommend that you get a parent to help you when you're cleaning up your parts, not just for this, but any parts. Have your parents clean up the parts with the little knife or whatever you use. I mean, it definitely has to be a knife of sorts. Not like your dinner knife, but something to clean it. I forget, this is for like paper. I forget what the term is. I'll put it on screen again or in the description. But yeah, definitely have your parents do it. I would say like if you're under 16 or so. Every household is different for, hey, you're this age now, you're allowed to do such and such. So, ask your parents first. And if you're not allowed to do it, have them do it. If you are allowed, just be very careful. You don't want to, I'm going over this very quickly. I'm going to do multiple videos on this, But just make sure you're not, when you're holding an item and you're cleaning it, you're not gonna cut yourself. I'm putting this on for safety here. But when you're cleaning stuff, your fingers aren't in the way, your palm, your thumb, whatever. It's out of harm's way, and you're hitting. This is cardboard right here. Don't do this on any table you cherish or any surface you cherish. Definitely put some cardboard down. Doesn't have to be super thick. This is about, I'd say, thick as a quarter. But because I've easily slipped and hit the cardboard, and the cardboard, it actually has a few holes and stuff. Not big holes, just little indents. But yeah, definitely be careful when you're cleaning your parts. I actually, on my finger, I had a little, I'm not sure what to call them because I didn't cut myself. But every now and then when I would clean, I made sure to keep my fingers clean. But I'm not sure how. But every now and then, I guess I would stick myself kind of like if you stick yourself with a little sticky or a paper cut. But like I said, it wasn't a cut. It was a little divot. I only saw it when my hands are a little pruny from washing it to make sure I had no plastic on there. I was like, oh hey, there's a little bit of skin here. So be very careful when you are doing this. So I said get a parent to do it. And depending on the part, pliers can be helpful. That's when I said up here is very helpful. That's only because I printed this with support. So when you're printing things with support, it means that the printer is printing this on top of something. That's why it's called a support. There actually was a option to not do it with supports, but my whole thing was that if I didn't, it would be drawing it in the air, and I didn't want to have any problems. So for some models, you won't need supports. Other times, it's safer to do supports. I know I could just cut it off. And it's printed just a little differently because it knows it's supposed to snap off later. But enough talking about that. I'm going to be doing several videos on my 3D printing experience. One review on the printer I have and the experience and my tips and tricks and stuff. And the things I learned from doing this. Now, though, it is time to assemble this. I've been waiting for so long, and I'm going to make sure I can get it in camera. For those who don't know, if you can't tell from the title, you can't tell from this is an octopus. I don't know if this is a certain species, but it's an octopus of sorts. Oh, this is going to be hard too. Yay! Oh, this is a lot harder. Ow. See, I've been doing this for several days, so my hand has not rested. That's going to be interesting. Because usually they bend open. Then we pushed it in there, but since it's right next to something, it's pretty hard. And I printed them all the same size, just so I wouldn't have any issues with them fitting in or not. So it may take a little bit of force, and I may have to record this tomorrow because my hand is already hurting. Good grief. One thing I also learned by putting these tentacles together is some of these bits will go in easier with other bits than intended. So for example, let's say I grabbed this bit and I grabbed this white bit right here, and for example, this white bit would be very hard to put into this green bit, but it wasn't that hard to put into this green bit on my right hand over here. So, you pick up a white part, or not white part, but it depends on how many colors you use for your octopus. Depending on the bits you're using, not just for this, but anything we have to snap it together. If it's multiple parts, sometimes some bits fit better with others, sometimes they'll be harder. So I don't know if it's the hole I'm choosing or if it's the tentacle. We're gonna try another one. That's what I've learned so far. I also saw where some people said they sized it up a little bit, the head is a little bigger than the tentacles, just so it was easier. But it's gonna be a very small octopus. You can kind of get an idea how small it's gonna be, but it's gonna be cool. All right, let's try this. And I kind of made a technique to putting in here. Doesn't always work. And earlier in this process, there was also a small little clip of me trying to put together the pieces, which you never saw the whole process because, like I said, the position is very awkward. I'm standing behind the camera and my arms are coming in front, so it's a little awkward. It's more it's just not necessarily awkward, but it's not convenient, Yes! All right. That took a lot of effort. Look at that though. Look at this. It's gonna be very cool when it's all done. And I like to move it around in there, try to loosen it up a little. Because I had to clean these parts as well. I had to clean all the parts I printed. So just want to make sure it's pretty easy in there. Look at that. Alright, 1 down, 7 to go. And usually I put the parts in upside down. Before I had put it upside up, so I've always done it upside down. I don't know if that makes it easier, but we'll try it. For those wondering the method, I usually start down here and I kind of wiggle it in and out. Oh, that's not in, that's just above. But I kind of push and wiggle it in, like up and down, to try to get it in there a lot easier. Ah, my hand. And I'll probably just like cut to the end or something, instead of you all watching me struggle putting it in here. Let's try a different one. Like I said, sometimes other ones are easier. I mean, I got the one. I at least wanted to get one on camera. Whee. Anyway, it's gonna look awesome. And the person who actually made this octopus, again, link in the description, when they printed it, they actually did a rainbow octopus, which was very cool. Currently, I only have about 3 colors. That's why mine's not rainbow. But I do like the colors I chose. Literally, I just have white, this green, and a different kind of blue, and I didn't want to do 3 colors. I'm glad I didn't, but... Well, let's try another part of the octopus. And another tentacle. Like I said, I'll probably just cut to the end. This is gonna be like this video's gonna be really long, but it's worth it. And then I need a name for this octopus. And yeah, I definitely think I'm just gonna have to cut to the end, do this a little later. I'm definitely finishing it tonight because my excitement cannot be contained for this thing. So I'm gonna give my hands like a couple minutes break. I'll put them all together and then I'll record another section or a clip where it's finished, but so far that's how it's going to look. Alright, so I'll see you all in, it's going to be a couple minutes or tomorrow, but you all won't know that when you watch this video. So yeah, see you in a second. Alright, and the octopus is finished. It took quite a bit to assemble everything. And my mom had to help with the last 2 legs and put them on, but it is finally done. So you didn't see it because I didn't record it, because the way I was recording cleaning up the octopus was a bit awkward and kind of didn't help me clean in an efficient way. But there was a huge support right here. I had some pliers I got from my dad, and I just squeezed it and ripped it off, and that's really nice. It helped a lot. Yes, you can still kind of see it, but I'll probably follow it down a little bit. But yeah, it's finished, and I absolutely love it. It sits right on top of my monitor really well. It sits on my shoulder. It even sits on my blue snowball. And just look at it. Look at, oops. Look at how cute it is. Absolutely love it. So if you want to print your own, links will be in the description below. Since I didn't model this, I just printed it, so shout out to the people who modeled it. And let's just make this very nice right here. Ta-da! Yeah, and it's ball joint, so you can twist some things. I don't have a pen on hand right now, but in images you can have it grip around a pencil or grip around something. It even sits on my hand, and it can hold on to me a little bit. Some limbs work better than others, but it's alright. And you can print this in many different colors, since I printed the joints in a circle of 8, so each row was a, whoops, sorry, not on camera. Each row was 1 print, and they all took an hour 30 minutes. So yeah, this total print, since everything took an hour 30 minutes, and the head itself took about 4 hours, I believe. So my dad and I have calculated it was about 16 hours this print took, maybe a little longer. But yeah, it was a long time, but it's definitely worth it. And I will be printing the other ones. For example, there is a cuttlefish and a giant squid and a jellyfish. So I will definitely be doing those as well. I was trying to do it another way. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. In the future videos, hopefully we'll figure out how to record cleaning. Well, record it better, I mean. And I can show my whole process of when I clean models. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye! Look at how cute that is.